On this bone model, a transverse fracture of the olecranon has been made. We will carry out a tension band internal fixation of the fracture. The fracture is reduced and held reduced with the pointed reduction forceps. Approximately 4 centimeters distal to the fracture line, a hole is drilled through the ulna with the 2 millimeter drill, using the sharp drill guide. Through this hole, we introduce a 1 millimeter cerclage wire in which a loop has been made. During surgery, cloth gloves are worn over the surgical gloves in order to guard against glove perforation. Using the drill guide, the first 1.6 millimeter Kirschner wire is introduced through the point of the olecranon, parallel to the shaft of the ulna and as close as possible to the joint. After drilling of the anterior cortex, it too is pulled back 1 centimeter. The Kirschner wire is now cut obliquely using the wire cutters. We use the drill guide with one of its holes over the already placed Kirschner wire in order to introduce the second 1.6 millimeter Kirschner wire in parallel fashion. After drilling of the anterior cortex, it too is pulled back 1 centimeter. The second Kirschner wire is similarly cut in an oblique fashion using the wire cutters. We now wrap the cerclage wires around the 2 parallel placed Kirschner wires in figure of 8 fashion. Following this, we unite the 2 wires with a twist. In clinical practice, the wire is passed deep to the triceps tendon, just next to the bone. The wires are then cut short. By tightening both loops with 2 pliers, the 2 fragments are drawn together such that the fracture is placed under compression. The twist provides for the symmetrical wrapping of both wire ends, one around another, under constant tension. Only in this way does the twist maintain the tension. The twists are shortened and bent with a gentle twisting pulling motion so that they lie upon the shaft of the bone. With the wire bending pliers, the Kirschner wire is bent to 180 degrees. Following this, the bent Kirschner wire is hammered into the olecranon over the tension band wire as shown. The identical procedure is performed for the second Kirschner wire. With a correctly constructed tension band, tension forces from the pull of the triceps are transformed into compression forces at the fracture site, as shown here. If desired, the special wire tightener with the handle and special looped wire may be used instead of the above described technique. The wire is introduced with the loop as shown, and a second loop is made. The wire is wrapped around the Kirschner wires in figure of 8 fashion, and then threaded through the special loop. The wire tightener is then placed over this wire and tightened in place. The second loop should be simultaneously tightened with a flat-nosed pliers. The wire tightener is then turned 90 degrees parallel to the axis of the ulna and then loosened. The tightener is pressed against the bone. Following this, the wire is cut to a length of approximately 1 centimeter with the wire cutter. After tightening, instead of the two previous mentioned methods, the wire can be twisted using the wire tightener. Here, the use of the wire tightener is demonstrated. The wires are fastened to the tightener as shown. The tightener is then twisted as the handles are squeezed together, simultaneously twisting the second loop with the flat-nosed pliers.